Happy Friday and welcome to the May 6th edition of the CSM Update. Hope you're all doing well and have some good plans for the weekend. Hey, we've got a great recognition story to kick things off, and it involves Mr. Hinshaw at UC Davis. Dave used to be the rep over there. They're building a brand new bridge. They needed to move a gas transmission line, and they only had X amount of money to do it. We came in saying that it was going to cost $2 million, and the school basically said, okay, well, we have $250,000. So big disparity there. One of the things a lot of you know, when we get quotes for things like this, a big amount of the money is actually a contingent, estimate. So basically, if things went badly, it's allocating for things that may or may not happen. So Dave was able to get them to really work on this, whittle it down. This was escalated to Jess, a few others, and just with a ton of questions, we were able to meet their $250,000 price tag. That was what they could afford to do this. And so it's not that we're doing this for cheap. It's just that Dave was able to ask the right questions of the right people, and get that decision to help really confirm with the customer, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it for this price. So great one. That one really could have gotten political and out of hand as far as escalating. But Dave, thanks so much for making that happen. And the customer, I just was able to listen to a message not too long ago. But the customer, UC Davis, called. They're ecstatic, very thankful. So great job, Dave. Another one is just for all of Dino's team. There are several folks on Dino's team recently who've been helping the Ag CSM segment. The Ag team, as many of you seen on the graphs, has seen a huge uptick in the number of issues and requests lately. And some folks were going out on vacation. So just a great example. At the beginning of the year, I went back and forth on should we assign customers, should we do a queue, and I really felt the queue was the way to go to help even out that kind of roller coaster of ups and downs of workload that some segments will have and others may not, all at different times. And it was just nice to see the queue style approach where we can just funnel stuff off really easily without having to completely reassign customers. So good to see that working. I've got 3 quick tips for you today. The first is, if you're ever working in Excel and you've got a header with all sorts of important things you need to see and rows with information, but as soon as you start scrolling to the right or the left, you lose the information in the headers. Use the freeze pane button. It's located in the view menu. And basically, if you just say I want to see everything above this cell and everything to the left of this cell, no matter how far I scroll, you click on that cell and you hit freeze pane. And that way, no matter where you are in the spreadsheet, you'll always be able to see those rows and headers. Also, if you're ever on a WebEx call with a lot of people and you kind of want to take turns sharing your screen, real easy to do. If you're the presenter, you just look at the list of all the participants, and one of them, well, I should say on your name, you'll actually see a little green and blue ball. You just click and hold that and drag it to the person that you want to show their screen. You're basically giving them permission, and then that's an easy way to share kind of back and forth with different people who's sharing their screen on a WebEx. So I've been using that a lot lately as people call me and they want to ask about something on their screen, or we're just trying to share stuff with different groups of people remotely. So keep that in mind. Last thing is there's a great net metering training that Miguel's team organized, and one of the things that came out of that, folks were asking about, is there a public-facing type of document about explaining net metering billing? And there is. So in the written version, I've included a link for that. For action items, I've just got one for you guys. I was looking through the list of issues that have taken place, and we're putting together the segment CSM dashboard to kind of keep track of what's happening with the local CSMs. Anyways, sorry, I'm getting all mixed up here, but point is I'm putting together the local CSM dashboard, and I saw a bunch of segment CSMs listed as the CSMs on local issues. So I think those are ones where the segment CSM just accidentally checked the box as local, or maybe it was handed over to our team. But either way, if you're a segment CSM, please take a look at the link that I've provided in the report and change it to a segment issue if it's something that you handled. Also, for all the CSMs, if you see an account rep listed in the issue as a local CSM and you worked on it, please remove that account rep and insert your name instead. We really should just see local CSMs listed on local CSM issues. As for process guides, we've got two of them here. We've got one for the shut-off no-pay process, Stephanie and Naya did, and then also last week we put out the draft version of the inside track process guide, and it looks like that one's ready to go. So I've got the draft version of the shut-off no-pay process guide ready, the final version of the inside track process guide, and last thing on that, really love to have some volunteers from the local CSM team to help create some process guides. So if you could please look at the work planning guide if you're a local CSM and let me know if there's any unclaimed topics you'd like to do. We'd really like to try to focus on the items we're recommending that the reps do themselves, and that's so we help them avoid submitting issues to us by showing them the best way to do some of this quick and easy stuff. So I'd love for a local CSM to reach out to me and pick a topic or two that they could do. Let's see, two last things here. I did make a report that was kind of showing all the issues that have had no activity in the last 2 weeks. So basically they're open issues that are in process. Nothing's happened in 2 weeks. And so I made a report. I've linked it so you guys can take a quick peek at that one. And just want to remind everybody to regularly go in and send updates to the reps if you're working on their issue. And it's okay if issues take a long time and you're waiting for another department, but let's make sure we're sending out a quick message to those reps. I've got a little clarification in here. The chatter messages don't actually count as updates as far as this graph is concerned, but there's still a way that I came up with talking to another rep of how we can take care of that. So just read the little note on making sure that we're keeping those issues updated, even if they're long-standing issues. And then lastly, just a quick thought. I dropped my kids off at school on Monday, got there, completely realized I had left their lunches at home on the counter. So that was great. And I contemplated driving home, and I thought, no, I'll just go to the store. And, I really had two options to kind of just get really pissed off at myself for forgetting that and let it ruin my day, or just find some solutions and move on. And so I brought it up with the teacher. I said, oh, man, I can't believe it. I left the kids' lunch at home. And, without a blink, she just said, oh, you know what? It happens once a day. There's a parent, at least one parent a day that forgets the lunch for their kid. We got plenty of food here. Don't worry about it. And, just kind of goes to remind me, life's really not about being perfect because no one's perfect. It's just about how we handle the imperfections and mistakes of others that makes the whole difference in our outlook on life. So anyways, not a great quote, but just a thought I had earlier this week. And, in our jobs as CSMs, a whole lot of what we do is dealing with the mistakes of others. And it's just good to keep that in perspective, that we all make mistakes, and let's move on and figure out what the solutions are. So with that, I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.